Hi y'all, I'm Chase, and this is my 2017 Road King with a Milwaukee-Eight 107, affectionately known as Alice. And today, while we're going up my treacherous gravel road and hills, we're actually going to talk about something that's, well, kind of crappy that has happened in the video game industry, but that's not really the subject here. It's about pay to play. It's something that the video game industry has started doing and now is being done by KTM. KTM has decided that after you buy your bike, after you pay that quite high fee, that you will only have some of the features on that bike for 1,500 kilometers or 800-900 miles, somewhere around there. And you'll have to pay after those features are over with, after that time is over with, to have those features re-unlocked. Now, I think that it's only a one-time price to re-unlock it, but this is something that video games have been doing for quite some time. I'll just go with one that I've played recently that I bought. I don't buy a lot of video games, but I like jet fighter stuff, so, and old World War II planes, that kind of stuff. But Ace Combat 7 and 6, and probably most of the other ones too, but the Ace Combats, where you have a set amount of planes, but as time goes on, the planes are already on the disc. New planes that you don't have access to. They're already on the disc, or they're already on the system, or they're already built into the game, but you will have to pay extra to unlock them. So it's downloadable content is what they call it. And they've been doing it for a long time. And yeah, it makes some money, and yeah, it's probably the only game that I've bought that I noticed that had to have that kind of stuff, because I just really like jet fighter games, and those are few and far between for most video game systems now. But KTM is now doing that. They've decided that they're going to try to get an even bigger piece of the pie than they already have. And I've heard that BMW does this already with their cars for, like, you know, heated seats or heated mirrors, you know, stuff like that. I don't know which, but I know that some companies are starting to pull this crap. They see it as a way for them to, you know, make some extra profit. Well, unless somebody really, really wants those features, they're not going to pay for it. I mean, it's not like I don't have other video games. I have, you know, like Call of Duty and stuff like that. I don't think I've ever paid for downloadable content. Well, I might have. It's been a very long time, let's put it that way. I just don't pay for that crap. I'm not going to pay for extra maps. I'm not going to pay for, well, an extra gun or something. I just don't care. In fact, that makes me not want to buy their games, and that's pretty much what has happened with Call of Duty for me. If you're going to pull this kind of stuff, I'm just going to ignore your product. So, KTM doing this, I see a lot of people, they are not happy about it. And you know, the sad thing is, these are people that were likely, you know, loyal to KTM. You know, a lot of guys will, you know, it's like people like Harley guys, you know, there's KTM guys, there's guys that just love like a Super Duke, or, you know, the Super Adventure, or, you know, the 890 Adventure, or the 890 Adventure R. You know, there's guys that love those bikes, that is the only bike they will buy. They will only buy KTM, just like there's guys that will only buy, you know, Harleys. Well, a lot of those guys are going to be mad because, well, I mean, the bikes are already expensive, and you're going to give them some, you know, features and then take them away. Yeah, that seems like a good way to lose clientele, to lose money. Granted, there's going to be some guys that will go back in and say, yeah, you know what, screw it, I'll spend an extra $2,000 on that. But the majority, no. They're not going to spend that extra money because they think that's ludicrous. That they shouldn't have to. And honestly, for me, I think they're right. You know, if I go, now I'll say this, Harley hasn't tried that yet, but Harleys are, I mean, honest, I can be honest. I mean, I love Harleys, but damn, they're expensive. They are expensive bikes for what they are, for the amount of, you know, technology that comes on. Granted, they are superbly built. And I'm sorry, they smoke KTM and fit and finish and all that. KTMs are, sorry, they don't have a very good reputation for reliability and stuff like that. So, now granted, Harleys are probably below, let's say, Japanese bikes in reliability. I mean, I don't think there's anyone that beats those Japanese bikes as far as reliability. So, but Harley's still, you know, up there. They're at least middle of the pack. I mean, there's Japanese bikes, there's Italian bikes, there's Indian bikes. There's German bikes, you know. But if you're gonna charge an exorbitant amount for a motorcycle, and then you're gonna try to, I don't know, jerk someone around for an extra couple of, you know, couple grand, when the bikes are already pretty expensive as they are, that's pretty crappy. Now, I know somebody's going to bring up, oh, but what about the Harley tax? Oh, you got to put pipes and all kinds of other stuff. You don't have to. And honestly, that's not a performance feature. That's just sound. Honestly, you throw some pipes on it, you're not getting much. I mean, honestly, you're not going to be able to tell much difference on a stage 1 from dead stock to a stage 1. Mostly it's about sound or look or both. So that's a different thing. They're not going to give you a quick shifter on a Harley and then take it away. I mean, if you paid for the extra parts, then you should get the extra parts. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's just a way for them to, I don't know. It's awful. It's cringy. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a pain in the ass, and my thinking is screwed up, and I shouldn't be criticizing them for, I don't know, trying to make an extra buck. But when I look at motorcycling as a whole, I can't help but think that it doesn't help. It will turn more people away from motorcycling than bring them in. I mean, even if it's explained to you at the beginning that, oh, hey, you know, you're going to have to come back in. We're going to give you all these, you know, doodads and whiz bangs, and when you come in for your first service, that stuff, by about the time for your first service, that stuff is just going to disappear. So you're going to have to come back in for your first service, and then we can restart all those little extra features that you had. But it's going to cost you an extra $2,000. That right there would probably get me to get up and walk away. I mean, it's like Harley. I mean, really, on this, really the only extra feature that it has is the cruise control. And if Harley told me from the get-go, well, we'll give you cruise control, but you're only going to have it for 1,000 miles. And after that 1,000 miles, you'll have to come in and pay another 1,000 or two. Oh, and by the way, you can pay that right now, though. We can just put it right on the top of your payment, which really, you're not really paying 1,000 or two for that payment. you're going to end up paying for that $1,000 or $2,000 that you borrowed. You're going to end up paying $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 by the end of the time you pay the bike off. That's what they're doing. They're going to kind of rip you off in the long run. That's another thing I should have mentioned earlier. It's going to eat you up a little bit in the long run because, oh, we can just put that right on the payment. So unless you're buying the bike outright, you're going to pay even more than that $1,000 or $2,000, maybe double, by the end of the time you're done paying the vehicle off, bike off, whatever you want to call it. So I just thought that, you know, I don't know, it was something that kind of irked me today. I watched, or not watched, but I seen an article about how KTM was going to start doing things, and I thought, man, that's kind of scummy and awful. So maybe I'm wrong, you know, tell me down in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. Like and subscribe. Click that ding-a-ling if you do subscribe to be notified of any new videos I come out with. And, well, thanks for watching, everyone. It means a lot. Bye, y'all.